every single marketer or brand that's going to invest in SEO in 2023 needs to hear this. It's essential. If there's number one thing I can impart to someone looking to invest, especially if this is your first time, this is it right here. And that is, to succeed in SEO, you need to truly invest. Yes, the budget is important, but more so than the budget, the resources, the organizational wide buy-in. You need to want to win this channel because it is a brand building channel, and the most successful SEO stories I've seen and I've been a part of invest as a brand and are investing in the long-term value that they get from SEO. There's tons of quick wins, we know that, but you need to truly invest into what you're building. So to help convey this, I'm going to talk about this perception deception effect in SEO. First things first, credit where credit is due. This next part I'm actually pulling from a topic I saw on LinkedIn from the head of organic and embryo, Andrew Holland. He makes some great points. He has a great anecdote, and he actually has a graph which I'll show you, which I find nicely and very simply captures this idea of the deception of value over time. So Andrew states, I'm going to quote this: SEO rarely works well in isolation, and even with the SEO success stories, you'll see a business that can increase its success by activating other channels. It works in a marketing ecosphere where other channels help it, and indeed SEO helps other channels. This is super important to realize. This is super important. I've been a part of some great successes in SEO, and I've seen many more, but realistically it's one channel of many, and it builds a brand up so that those leads and that content that you're ranking fits into a greater marketing ecosystem that truly builds the brand. When it's just one channel, when it's simply just SEO, you're likely up against a bunch of really talented straight up SEOs, and that world's a tough world. You can definitely win on building a brand though, but when you're really stacked up channel for channel, that's just a different game. You'll hear about these SEO failure stories, and they exist, but I can almost guarantee behind most of those stories there lies a brand that either tried to go cheap or tried to pull other resources or didn't really invest organizational wide. There's lots of different ways, but at the end of the day, did they really truly invest as a channel to build their brand? I see this often when I'm pitching on an SEO project, and someone will say, well, actually I was offered, rather than like a retainer to actually grow my brand over a year period, a $500 link budget, and they'll get the same results. Or a $500 to $1,000 retainer from an agency that's really just going to be surface level doing some SEO tactics. It's 100% a different game. And if you want to grow, you're going to need to invest. Now, I'm not saying you have to hire an agency, but then you have to find either internal resources or you need to invest your own time to win in that space and bring on the contractors and the people needed. Very rarely is that $500 a month link package skyrocketing your brand to the growth you need. Most of the time, it's actually just going to push out your results. Maybe take 6 months, realize nothing's really happening. Sometimes you'll see some great growth just from your brand itself because you're doing other great things. But is that $500 link package really pushing the needle? No, very likely not. The happiest clients know they're investing for a certain period of time. Yes, they ask about goals, milestones, and timelines, but at the end of the day, they realize that yes, there's a 3, 6 month, 9 month goal of what you want to achieve. But if you're going to invest into SEO as a channel, you're looking at a 9 month, 12 month, even 1.5 to 2 years for like really the growth that you need as a brand. And even after that, oftentimes I'll get asked the question like, when should I stop? It's like, well, when do you want the channel to stop growing? Because the more work you put into it with the right strategic approach, the more you can grow. So there are ceilings to some, especially local brands, but at the end of the day, there's lots of ways to find additional value and truly build your brand through SEO. So I just wanted to show you this graph from Andrew. It's great, it's simple, it shows the perceived value in a 6-month program versus 18 month, then versus looking at a longer period of time. And I can tell you, almost every time I've seen it so many times that the ones that want to invest long term end up seeing the value. And they notice the value early on, the things that you're doing in the beginning when you're doing your content audits, when you're doing your technical audits. It can seem like you're doing a lot of like piece moving around in the first 3 to 6 months, but those things, when you get through that and you get to the end, that's when you start seeing that hockey stick curve growth that really builds a brand up.